Next, coming to the next topic, variables. So variable can be declared in three ways. One is let, constant, var. So how we can be assign the variables is normal. So how we are assigning in the Java script, var x equal to 5 point. But remember, I have a function of open braces here to understand of all these three keywords. I have a function. I have in this function, I have a loop. So how we are mentioning the loop here is, we are mentioning the loop inside this open braces and close braces. So this is a loop and this is a function example. Now the scope of this function is up to this, right? This is called as function scope. This scope is called as FS, function scope. Now this scope is called as block scope, BS, block scope. Now try to understand between the difference between let, constant, var. Function scope, you got the idea. And block scope, you got the idea. Block scope means inside the function, if you have any other loop, any other block, that will be applicable as block scope. Function scope means it's a big. Up to the function starting and ending, it will go ahead. Now see the variable, once you are going to use the var keyword, then the scope for that one is as a function scope, not the block scope. When you are using let x equal to 5.6, it's a block scope, not the function scope. The limit is going to be put for only this block scope only. Means inside the loop only it can be used that variable, but not to the outside. Once you are declaring the constant, it also be called as block scope, not the function scope. So constant is a variable. Once it is going to be created, its value never will be changed. The constant has block scope. The let has block scope itself. We can use let in the expressions. We can use it where it is going to define. Var, wherever you can use wherever you want. So how we can be declare in ES6 the variables means we can declare the variables in ES6 in three ways. One is var, another is let, another is constant. The var, the scope is up to the function scope, whereas the let and constant having only block scope. Clear? Next part of the topic here is array methods. So we have different array methods you have studied in JavaScript. Similar fashion here also be there, but mostly we are going to using in the React. Remember why we are making this prerequisite knowledge of ES6 to write a good programming in React. So that's remember that point always. Now in the React, we are having a mostly we are going to using much time. We have the dot map array method. Now what is the purpose of this dot map method is it allows you to run a function on each item in the array. So if you have the array of 10 items, for each item, this function will be mapped for each item. And finally, what the map will return means a new array as a resultant. What that array will consisting? A list, a new list, which is going to be mapping to each item of that array. Now, example, I'm declaring an array of constant my array of having the three items: apple, item 1, item 2, banana, item 3, orange. Now, how we are going to mapping to that one is we are calling this object my array dot map. I'm going to mapping each item. So this is what an arrow function, right? So an arrow function we are going to using here. Map is a function. The method my array dot map of item. So we are going to passing here. Now what? See, the parenthesis is started here. The parenthesis, if you observe closely, and ended here. Now inside that we are assigning each item to a paragraph, an element. So once what the map will do, it read the first item and display and send to the paragraph. So first is apple. Next we'll read the second item and send to paragraph banana. Next we'll read the third item and send to paragraph orange. Like this it will be displayed. So see, arrow function inside we are using. Item is the function name, arrow mark, and we are sending that each item to this set of instruction for the HTML element. So map purpose is each item of that array we are going to be mapping to this code. That instruction may be a script code, that instruction may be a HTML code, whatever we can assign it. That is the purpose of map. So we have different array methods like filter. If you see in the above diagram, we have a filter, we have a find, we have reduce, dot map, dot filter, dot find also be there. But as an example, I have considered only dot map over here. And coming to the next part of this is destructuring arrays and object. What is a destructuring? Structure means what? Arranging in a proper order. So destructuring. So whatever already it is arranged, we are going to be restructuring that one. Destructure means. So destructuring arrays as well as destructuring object. First, we'll see the destructuring, what is actually. I'll tell you one example, real-time example. If you want to prepare a sandwich, what you'll do, you'll go to your refrigerator. Now, in the refrigerator, we have different items, right? More items are there, but we are not taking all the items of refrigerator to prepare the sandwich. So whatever the items you want, you are going to be selecting out of that 20 items in the example, 20 items in the refrigerator. You are not taking all the 20 items to prepare the sandwich. You are taking only a 5-6 items which are required to prepare the sandwich. In the same fashion, destructuring will do what means it exactly do the same, only need some of the items which required to complete that particular task. So it will not take entire. If the array consisting of 10 items, will not take the 10 items at a time. We will take only which items are required to complete that particular task. That items only we are considering. The rest of the items you are not considering at all. So we are just restructuring. Another example, you are making a shopping in Amazon or something, Flipkart, you are adding to the my cart, right? You are adding all the items to my cart, but you are purchasing only the selected items. Out of the 10 items in the my cart, you are selecting first item, third item, and maybe fourth item for purchasing. So taking only the required things from among the set that will be taken care by the destructuring. So when you are doing, I want out of the 10 items, I want first item, I want third item, I want the 7th item. So when you are selecting that one, the structure of that actual will be changed. So we are going to destructuring what exactly we want to be doing. So that is a best example for destructuring. Among that, how we are going to be destructuring arrays. We have two concepts under this one, destructuring arrays and destructuring objects. So destructuring can be done with the help of like rearranging, making the selected items, making the required item. So let me see first without destructuring, what is happening. This is the old fashion. We are declaring a array, means vehicles. Under that, we are going to be calling 3 items, Mustang, F150, and Expedition. So how you are assigning that? It's an array, right? So you are going to assigning car equal to vehicle of 0. So already you are aware, this index is 0. This is 1. This is 2. Vehicle of 0, we are assigning to car. Vehicle of 1 assigning to truck. Vehicles of 2 assigning to so. So this is how we are going to be assigning. This is the old fashion, already are aware, right? So 0 position goes to one variable, first position goes to another second. But with the help of destructuring, how this can be make simplified means same, we are taking an array called as vehicles with the same elements 1, 2, 3. Instead of taking 3 statements, what we are doing, constant of car, comma, truck, comma, so we are assigning entire object, entire variable, means entire object of that vehicle array, we are assigning to a set of a list, entire list of variables, car, truck, comma, so, right? So when we want this, the multiple, you can separate it. See example, how many elements are there in the array? 3 elements are there, right? I want to assign for not only for 3, I want to assign only 2. I want make assign 2, like car and Sue. See the example. When you want to assign that multiple, separated with comma. Now what I'm doing, I want the first element, but I don't want the second element, which is F150. I don't want. What we are doing, we're just making an empty comma. So car, comma, comma means I don't want the second one. I want third one, that is Sue. So wherever you don't want the items, I want the 10 items are there. I want first item and 5th item and 7th item. You can use first item name, for example, C, comma, how many commas? Second, comma, third, comma, fourth, comma. I want 5th item. So 5th item may be a D, example, comma. So again, 6th item I don't want. Again what? Comma. Again 7th item, maybe E. Like this, we need to be separated. Those the items you want, don't want, just keep the comma in place of that one. Just comma. Extra comma has to be used that one. So like this, we can make array destructuring. Another best example in handy for you to better understanding. Here to perform on the same values, I'm calling a function with the 2 parameters 4 and 7. On this 4 and 7, I need to perform addition, I need to perform subtraction, I need to perform multiplication, I need to perform divide. So what we need to do, we need to return all at a time. So this is in the list we are having, right, in the Python, multiple returning the multiple values. We can return multiple values, means in the form of entire list we can pass it. So when a list is returning, definitely at the left hand side, a list should be there which can be accessed that one. So a list has to be accept, means another list has to be ready to access that one. So I am going to be assigning the left hand side. add, sub, subtract, multiply, div. So what will this calculate function return? It returns that entire list. So automatically the first position will map to first position. Means first position will map to what is the left hand side, right hand side. We have an that entire list. Add, sub, mul. This entire list will be here. So the add will be goes to this add, comma. The subtract will goes to the subtract, comma. The multiply goes to multiply, and div goes to div. Divide goes to divide. So like this, it will be mapping the destructuring over there. Clear? Now coming to the destructuring objects. So objects, how we can define in the JavaScript, like already aware, curly braces, we can assign it. So if you have multiple items in that object, so we are mentioning attribute colon, the value. So brand, model, type, year, color. So what is I'm calling? I'm just calling a function, my vehicle, and passing this entire object as a parameter. Enter of this one. This is before applying destructuring objects. What is the old way here is simply you are accessing this is the object name, right? So once the function is called, the function definition. This is called as what? Function definition. So the function definition, what is the object name? Vehicle. So if you want to access the type, object name dot variable means that is vehicle dot type, vehicle dot color, vehicle dot brand, vehicle dot model. Like this, we are making normal. Already are aware, right? So once you are having accessing that object name dot the variable name, like similarly for creating an object for a class, right? So object name dot member, object name dot method. Same fashion we are doing when without using destructuring objects. So with the help of destructuring, let me see how it will be happen. This is the same how we are declaring the object. Same, right? So previous example only, vehicle 1, we are calling the function my vehicle of vehicle 1. Now see the function definition, how we are writing. In the function definition, what we are doing here is, instead of calling the object here, what I'm doing here is, we are just taking all the variables which are required in that particular object. So directly we are taking the names of the object. So totally we have 5 different attributes are there, 5 different variables attributes are there, brand, model, type, year, color. But I'm considering only 4: type, color, brand, model. So when you want to access, directly you can access it. Type, directly you can access color, directly you can access brand, directly you can access model. So without use of any dot operator, without calling that one, directly we can use it. The meaning here is, once you are passing the entire object, it means that you are passing the entire attributes belongs to that particular object. So that we are that is destructuring that entire object. So instead of that 5, we are destructuring into 4 or maybe 3. It depends on your interest. But how you need to mention? In the curly braces. So directly we are mentioning here the curly braces, open and close. This is open and close. Like this, we are mentioning that. Okay, that is about the destructuring this. If you have a nested objects in the same program, if you have a nested object, what brand is a single object, model attribute, type also another attribute. If you have a nested objects, means again object, we have another object. That is the object name is registration. At that time, how we can do? Again, in the registration, we have set of attributes are available: city, state, country. Now you are calling the function my vehicle, vehicle 1. But here, what we are doing here is model. Model means this is the outside the nested object model. If you want any attribute inside the nested, how we need to represent? Represent with C here, nested object, then use a colon and curly braces. What is a colon? The nested object name is registration, colon, followed by curly braces. So we can use like this. So we have a curly braces already for the main object. If you want to have any nested object, in that main curly braces, after reading whatever the attributes you want from the main object, that followed by the nested object name, colon, we have curly braces, colon, curly braces. Like this, we can access it. So we can directly access the model. We can directly access the state. Again, no need of any dot operators or here. Even though you are accessing nested objects, directly we can access that one, because already we mentioned that name of these nested object, colon, curly braces.